So, I've made a lot of videos on Vrchat, 2 to be exact. One going through the deep crevice that is Vrchat, and its many problems. Like kids invading the lobbies and experiencing trauma, on the same level as watching Uncle Ben being shot 5 times over, and then getting gritted on. Or parental negligence, like most kids nowadays are experiencing. And in my second video we went over the predators of Vrchat, which was not even interesting, it was a horror story, with how rampant it is on Vrchat, and the fact the devs have put nothing in place to protect the children that play this game, and don't even ban these people that have been confirmed to be predators and target children. And even if they do, they'll just make another account because they won't get IP or hardware banned. And it's to the point where you can frequently experience it in most lobbies. It's about as common as finding a hacker in CSGO, or a gambling addict.
Vice. We need Vice stops in Factory New.
Nein! But the people I talked to on that video were just genuinely terrible people, and I know one of which is still active on the platform. But what else can I say about Vrchat? Well, recently I came across a video on YouTube that edged my prostate like a full-gloved fist colonizing my crevice. With interest, of course, because as said previously, I'm a seasoned vet in Vrchat.
Oh no.
I've earned my 4 tour medals, and I'm proud of them because I essentially overcame my addiction and developed 2 more. Gambling and making these videos for you little goobers. So essentially I have more than enough credentials to talk about the topic, even though I know some of you mentally diseased and crippled are going to comment they have more hours than me, and in comparison I'm a novice compared to them, which is essentially like bragging you have stage 3 terminal gonorrhea. But how many Vrchat hours do you have? But anyway, the video that piqued my interest was about Vrchat dating. And there is actually a lot to Vrchat dating, and it has changed exponentially since I stopped playing the game, and the rabbit hole goes deeper than the Mariana Trench now. But anyway, quickly, if you don't know what Vrchat is, I'm gonna guess there is not a solid block of parmesan that has hardened to the level of granite under that meat sleeve of yours, or you're a Rec Room player. Vrchat is a virtual platform where you can interact with other people through the power of VR, with additional features to improve your immersion being face tracking, full body tracking, and unfortunately ERP, which is essentially just pixel smashing or explicit activities on the Vrchat platform. Also a big problem because of how frequent it is.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
And the fact that people are actually monetizing it now.
I'm an escort, so I kind of do this for pay for people. It's $25 for an entire hour.
Yes, you can pay for a crumb of genitalia on Vrchat now. Oh, how we've strayed from the path of God. It also gets worse when there's actually avatars that can interact with each other now through a feature called DPS. No, not damage per second, idiot. Dynamic penetration system. And there is also equipment now that will suction cup to your genitals, and if somebody touches your avatar or touches that area of your body, it will respond.
I'm at the door.
And there is also a new thing called Pie Shock, which is a collar you can wear and people can electrocute you. Like, I know it's a kink and everything, and you do you, but just commit a few murders and I think in most American states, they'll do that for free. But it's safe to say that Vrchat has evolved into a more NSFW setting from its initial concept and release in 2014. And the Vrchat devs are aware of this, with many Vrchat worlds having age warnings and terms and conditions, along with a filter that when enabled in the settings, disables anything labelled as NSFW. But if your face isn't grimacing from the things I've just listed, and your appetite is still well intact, the worst things that happen in Vrchat I can't mention in this video. But anyway, with what Vrchat is, and the degenerate activities that are carrying out the way, wouldn't you be happy to know that most of it applies to the Vrchat dating scene? And with my bachelor's degree in Vrchat and loneliness, we're going to talk about the Vrchat dating scene and how bad it truly is. So load up that .44 caliber Magnum, Kiss your family members goodbye for the last time, because in your current state, if you have any hope for humanity left in you, it's about to get diminished. So first, how does Vrchat dating work? Well, it's very straightforward, and has been made simpler over time. I know this is not a tips and tricks video on how to build a Minecraft house. I know you're lonely, but hopefully not this lonely. It usually begins by going into public lobbies, meeting somebody, finding out you have a lot in common and actually getting along. I know people with social anxiety are probably struggling with the first step here, but after getting along for a bit, you probably log on daily to meet each other. Maybe go on virtual dates, maybe sit in front of mirrors, cuddling each other like the rest of the narcissists in that game. Prying any Vrchat user from a mirror, it's like prying a crackhead from a crack pipe. And maybe you even have matching avatars. Look at you, aren't you so cute? And then maybe after all of this, you decide to take it to the next level. The big step, the final base if you will. You've transitioned from thigh highs to big boy pants now. And that is adding them on Discord, where they'll finally send you a picture of themselves and ask for one in return. You look in the mirror, the camera flashes, and you send the picture. She starts typing, and then you realise something. She's just deleted her picture. Well buddy, you've just been blocked. She was so repulsed by the way you look, your personality could not carry that relationship. As a result, subsequently, she had to block you. Or maybe it's the other way around and you learned they looked like Larry from SpongeBob, or something straight out the chum bucket. But either way, that is basically dating in Vrchat. And if you thought all the e-couples were confined to Valorant, then you're wrong, because in most lobbies you will find people like this. Either people expressing their love for one another, or people looking for somebody. I mean, come on, there is a reason why most people in most lobbies have their current relationship status in their bio, along with their current mental status, an easily lied about age, and the members of their fake family, because mummy and daddy didn't want to repeat the same mistake, and quite possibly the name of their partner. This is the average Vrchat user now, apart from the people that only get on to get high and drink themselves to death. I did an experiment and proved this to be true. Alright, testing out. I hear people buy the mirror. This is going to be easy. This is going to be GG's easy. Done. GG's. Vrchat and e-dating have become synonymous with each other. Why do you think these so-called tools that Vrchat users use for long-distance relationships either sponsor or target Vrchat users? Because that aspect alone has become a part of Vrchat's personality now. And that's why most people, when they hear you play Vrchat, think you're a filthy little e-dater. But most of those things existed when I was still playing Vrchat. It's actually been a thing for quite some time, and a majority of people are used to the usual antics, and are desensitized at this point to most of the occurrence of these things. But imagine my horror when I learned that it's been made easier now, and they've actually revolutionized it to a point where I didn't even think was possible, with 2 new methods that don't even require you to use Vrchat, and a feature added by the Vrchat team which has been used for dating. The newer method is an app. Yes, there is a Vrchat dating app. In fact, there are multiple. 2 main ones are Never Met and Flirtual, which are actually advertised in Vrchat worlds. And the experience on the app is very akin to Tinder, where you can swipe right if you're interested in somebody and left if you're not. And Never Met has the added feature of not allowing you to upload an actual picture of yourself. It has to be a Vrchat picture of your avatar, as the main driving point is going off personality first instead of appearance. But I think a 60-year-old dude in a femboy avatar pretty much reveals your personality. On the app there is a way to verify your age, but all it does is simply verify your account. It doesn't prevent you from using the app in general. So like Tinder, it has that flaw of potentially people lying about their age. So if you're going to use the app, be careful. But the pipeline probably goes like you match with somebody, you say your greetings, you get to know each other, then you either add each other on Discord or you start playing Vrchat together, and then things progress from there. But the fact there is an app for dating in Vrchat is just foreign to me. Like, we got a Vrchat dating app before GTA 6 and before Valorant did it. But then again, they have Swift Play for that. But it just feels like it shouldn't exist, and at the same time makes sense it exists. It's weird to be at this stage of the internet. But you know, if you end up finding someone nice on there, good for you. I hope the mental trauma in the long run is worth it. But either way is through Discord servers. As I mentioned in my previous video, there are club Discord servers for Vrchat, for organising events in the virtual world and meeting other people. Some of the more popular Discord servers and clubs are Club Mika, Club Poseidon, and Club Orion. And quite often on these Discord servers, there is either a bio section or a dating section where you can talk about yourself and hope somebody sends you a Discord message. And in some of these Discords, there is a one night stand section where you can post a temporary bio and meet that person that night and knock the ones and zeros out of their binary until personal clarity gets you and you realise what you've just done. But as I've said previously, I've made a hobby of occasionally looking at these bios because in general most of them are normal, just people genuinely looking for a connection with somebody, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with looking for friends or a potential partner, and Vrchat in general was made to make connections with other people. It is a social game, but occasionally you get a bio in these Discords that genuinely sticks out from the rest, either because it's really disturbing or they go into a deep layer of detail about their interests and extracurricular activities. For example, let's look at a normal one compared to one that may be viewed as extreme. Of course, I'm going to censor important information so you can't track them down. Age 19, gender male, country and time zone France.
French.
Sexuality straight, preference women, availability mostly at night, looking for ERP partners and friends. Now, that was a really normal one. Like, I'm surprised how safe for work that was, but it only gets worse from here. Age 21, country/time zone, Europe, France. Oh fuck, I think I'm allergic to the French. Gender female, sexuality straight, looking for friends with benefits, friends, pet owners, hard dom, and masters ooh-woo. Preference, masculinity, DM policy open, kinks, domination, degradation, pet play, and I'm not reading the last one out. Now that is still a semi-normal bio, and probably your average Vrchat player. Now for the more extreme ones. People that definitely need their internet access revoked, and their name blacklisted from most internet service providers. Age, late 30s, gender, male, sexuality straight, but I love to consume cock in VRC though. Looking for woman, new master, relationship and possibly a wife. And a overly horny bitch that loves to be lewd. Kinks, public lobby fun, Vor would like to try, domination loss, and then a laundry list of kinks that I'm not going to read out. Now that bio was something, but it gives you a better idea of the more extreme side of Vrchat. And not all players are like that, it's just the small community of degenerates. The last thing used for dating was actually implemented by Vrchat itself. And this is Vrchat Groups, and it released recently. It allows you to join small communities and join public or private instances for that group. In addition to this, you can also wear the title of one of the groups above your head, so that everyone around you knows you're a part of that group. Some of my favourite groups are the Gooning Group, the Arizona Tea Gang, the Submersible and Implosive Gang, the Daddy Markiplier Gang, and for any British person that wants a decent sausage roll, the Greg's Gang, but Couplant is obviously better, so f*** you. But there are also a lot of dating groups, a lot for single people, and a lot for just things like ERP, with most of them being a joke, but some of them being completely serious. But as said, some of these groups have events where you can join and meet other single people. So basically, it's on the same lines as a IRL singles event. Also, just an extra note, if you have your Vrchat groups public, and you have some degenerate groups in there, people tend to use that first when they're trying to bully you.
Oh, hell no, man. What the
And judging by the people watching, the person bullying you is going to have adequate ammunition, probably 7.62 hollow point.
Gordon, you lousy motherfucker. Get your dork ass down to the test chamber or else I will shove the sample up your ass.
Now there's only so much we can do the outside looking in for this topic. Like, we can generally talk about VRchat dating, but not necessarily experience it ourselves. And no, I'm not going on a VRchat date just for a video. Fuck you. But we can experience how these relationships start through the methods I described previously, to see if VRchat dating really is deplorable or just completely normal. So I did an experiment and set up 4 accounts. 2 on the Never Met app, a male and a female, both in their early 20s just looking for someone to play games with and possibly date in VRchat. And I posted 2 bios in the Discord servers, one from a female and one from a femboy, because you know, fuck it at this point. Once again, both in their early 20s, both looking for a relationship regardless of gender, and some interesting spice to go along with it. I kept these accounts up for 24 hours and kept to the rule of not replying to them because that would have just been cruel at that point. And the results were very interesting. It actually surprised me. On the Never Met app, the female got 20 matches in the first day and just generally wholesome messages asking for people to play games. The male, on the other hand, only 5 matches and no messages whatsoever. Now going onto the Discord, it gets more interesting, because on the Never Met app we're actually restricted to what we can say, but on these Discord servers we can basically say whatever we want, and do that I did. And the responses, as I said, were surprising. For the Discord femboy, they received no messages whatsoever. Nobody was interested. Maybe I'm just bad at acting like a femboy. But the female, on the other hand, received 12 message requests from 9 guys, 2 females, and 1 femboy. The youngest being 21 and the oldest being 29. All looking for relationships and 2 proposing just to be friends with benefits. And the messages were actually kind of wholesome. You had 1 guy sending a picture of his cat, 1 just looking for cuddles in VRchat, and 1 looking to watch an anime together. It actually surprised me there was not 1 NSFW message, even with the bait in the bio. They all just wanted to do wholesome things. But you could make the argument that, you know, maybe they're acting like that so you don't think they're a creep. But we never know, because I'm not interacting with them any further. But in conclusion, VRchat dating really isn't all that bad and probably gets a bad rep. Yes, I've made fun of it throughout this video, but that's just me being me. I think as long as it's between 2 consenting adults, emphasis on the adults, and they're not doing anything explicit in public lobbies where kids are, I think it's fine. We live in an age now where online dating's becoming more and more normal because of social media and online games, where you have people meeting their future husband in Valorant and VRchat. Yes, it has a negative stigma around it. People usually think you're a weirdo if you online date, but compared to like 10 years ago, I think that stigma's getting more and more weaker. Because as I said, it's becoming more and more normal to utilize technology where you can connect to everyone around the world. And VRchat was the first instance where you can interact with those people through the power of virtual reality. And of course, as people interact with each other around the world, relationships are going to happen. And I think eventually it's just going to become normal. And I know I shit on VRchat a lot, but it's one of my most played games. Just down to the fact I've met friends through there, and they've made it worthwhile putting 3,500 hours into that game over the span of 8 years, so it's not that bad. But anyway, yep, that's the video. I hope you get pixel cooked in your next relationship. That's C-U-C-K-E-D in case my accent made it so you couldn't understand me. Just like with the YouTube voice recognition, doesn't light up the like and subscribe buttons when I say them. But yeah, bye-bye.